Hi, this is Bruce Buffer, your voice of the Octagon, and you're listening to MMA Mental.
I'm now joined by Matt Riddle. Matt, you are on with Ray and Patrick from the MMA Mental podcast. I know you're due to leave for the UK shortly. How excited are you to fight in the UK? I believe this will be your first time in the UK.
It's actually going to be my second time in the UK.
Okay, which card did you fight on before?
UFC 105, Randy Couture versus Brandon Vera in 2009.
Okay, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, you fought Nick Ospachak. And obviously you're
back. Nick Slick beat me up.
Yeah, that was a very close fight though, wasn't it? That was quite. I think that was a bit of an upset, that fight, I think, as well. How do you feel about facing Che Mills?
I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since I fought somebody where I was really worried about getting knocked clean unconscious, and if anybody could knock me out, it would be Che Mills. So, most people would be worried, but it kind of excites me. It gives me something to work for, and I'm excited. He likes to fight, and I like to fight, so should be exciting, should be good.
How do you feel about fighting in the UK again? Did you enjoy the UK atmosphere last time?
To be completely honest, the fans in Manchester were not the kindest. They spit on me, they called me nasty names, and that was the first time that's ever happened to me in my life. I've never been treated with such disrespect. But I heard London's a lot nicer than Manchester, and hopefully, I don't mind getting booed or called names. I don't want the bodily fluids to touch me.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That is, to be fair. I mean, I was part of that crowd, but I can guarantee that I wasn't one of the ones that was doing that. That's awful. There's been quite a little bit of. I've noticed going back and forth for a bit before it was announced that you were going to fight Che Mills, that you stated that you'd like to fight Dan Hardy. Is that a fight you'd like to get in the future, Dan Hardy?
I would have liked to get that fight with Dan Hardy, but he's fighting Matt Brown, and on paper, Dan Hardy might look like the guy to win that fight, but I've trained with Brown. I've seen Brown train with people that I know what's going on. I'm in the loop, and it's a bad fight for Dan Hardy. And honestly, after this fight, I think a better fight for me would probably be John Hathaway, because I think Matt Brown's going to knock Dan Hardy out, and I really don't want to fight somebody who just lost the fight. So.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, we've spoke with Matt on the show as well, and he has been on a really good run lately, and he's beaten people that he's not expected to be beaten as well. So I don't think that's going to be an easy fight for Dan at all. I fancy Matt for the upset in that fight as well, to be honest with you. Yeah,
if I was a betting man, I would definitely bet a lot of money on Matt Brown for that fight.
Now, obviously, as well, there's been a lot of hype over Twitter because there's been another brutal knockout, as they say, on the Ultimate Fighter with Uriah Hall, and of course that's brought up the debate about his knockout and your knockout. What are your views on both of the knockouts?
I've said it before, and a lot of people have hit me up saying, it's not cool for me to brag about, what, the knockout I accomplished back in 2008. And, because, they asked me, what do you think's more brutal? And I personally think Hall's knockout was awesome. It was beautiful. It was textbook. It was amazing. It's something you never see. It was a piece of art, saying that, the damage that he did decent damage, but, when, you break a guy's jaw and he loses his memory for a couple months, it's just, it's a little more brutal, So I would have to say his knockout was beautiful, devastating, all the above, just great knockout, perfect. But when it comes to long-term damage, I think I still hold the record for the most brutal knockout.
Yeah, I have to agree.
And I just want to clear this right now. I'm not bragging. I'm not proud of breaking his jaw. I'm proud of the knockout. But, the thing is, I'm doing my job, and I'll keep hitting somebody until the ref pulls me off, because that's our job, We were told not to stop until we're, pulled away or the whistle blows or something, So it's what it is.
You've got to put yourself in role reversal. I mean, if you don't finish the fight and then you find yourself in a situation, then you could be finished. You've got to make sure, if the opportunity is there, you've got to make sure that fight's finished, haven't you?
Exactly.
Now, it's one of the interesting backstories, of course, is about you, is that you've literally come straight into MMA at UFC, which is very, very rare. Do you want to tell us how that came about, how you've literally jumped straight into the UFC and not got any pro record pre-UFC?
I had a lot of grappling credentials. I was a state and national champion wrestler in high school. I wrestled Division I and won a couple big tournaments. And then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and within like 6 months of me doing jiu-jitsu, I was ranked top 10 in the world at my weight class. And I had one amateur fight and then tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. And when I filled out my paperwork, I just skipped amateur and just said 1-0 pro. And so they thought I was 1-0 professional, and that's how I got on the show. They liked what I had to offer. I did the tryouts. I did very well. And, I just lied about my record, which they check up now. You can't lie anymore. So if anybody wants to get in the UFC, you actually have to fight professionally before you get there. But, when I tried out, it was back in 2007, 2008. And, MMA, especially in the United States, it was still like kind of frowned upon. And most states it wasn't even legal, like half the states it wasn't legal yet. And, most of the time people were fighting on Indian reservations with no commissions. So there's no real way to like know who was fighting and if it was pro or not. So that's how I got on. I got lucky,
You haven't really looked back. I mean, you obviously you've shown enough on the show, obviously with the knockout, and you had a fight with Tim Crader, which obviously you lost, but it was a very, very competitive fight, very close fight. You seem to get on quite well with Tim in the house. Was that fair to say you got on well with him?
Yeah, I liked him. I liked everybody I was on the show with. I don't think I had a problem with one person other than Jeremy May, who is nobody even knows who that guy is anymore. But yeah, Tim Kragor was a great guy. He was older, and that was the only thing that kind of separated me and all the other fighters. I was 22, and everybody else was like in their late 20s, early 30s. So everybody's been working their entire life to get to this point, and I was fighting maybe for a little over a year, and I got to the UFC. So, that kind of bothered a couple people, but other than that, we all got along.
Did Tim buy you an Xbox?
He did. He bought me the Xbox 360, and he actually waited till the episode where we fought aired, and the episode after that aired, because he wanted to make sure I didn't talk shit about him after our fight. And there's no way he could have told that, because they pull us aside and videotape us. And once he saw that, I was respectful and I was like, it was a great fight, blah, blah, blah. He called me up that night. He goes, hey, bro, I'm sending you the Xbox. I was like, sweet, brother. And literally a week later, he overnighted it. I got it the next day. It was awesome. So.
And what, going back to the Ultimate Fighter Season 7, because I've spoken to quite a few guys that have been on different seasons of Ultimate Fighter, and some of them talk about it as a positive experience, some of them as a negative experience. For you, was it positive or negative, the experience?
It was positive. At the time, I was living at home on my mom's couch, my parents' house, on their couch, basically. And I had a job, but it was really shitty. I was waiting tables in rural Pennsylvania, and let's be honest, a dude waiting tables in rural Pennsylvania, I was making $10 a day. It was pretty crappy. So, when I got the call to be on the Ultimate Fighter, I jumped at it. And I think the UFC really picked me up because I told them exactly what my deal was. I was like, I'm living at home with my mom, trying to get out of my house and live the dream. And they made it happen.
Right, I know Patrick's eager to jump in, so I'll just ask you one more question before I let Patrick jump in. Now, like I said, all your fights, all your professional fights have all been on the big stage. So far, have you got a favourite fight that you've had so far in the UFC?
My favorite fight would have to be my one no contest where I hit a standing arm triangle in the third round against Chris Clemens. I think that was a fight that, I really got to showcase my skills and just, I was relaxed. I feel like that fight was the first fight where I hit my stride and things just seemed really easy. And since then, the McGuire fight seemed really easy. And I don't think Che Mills is going to be easy. He's a tough guy, but I have hit my stride. I'm 27 now. I'm not 22. I'm not a kid anymore. And I feel I'm stronger than I ever have been. I'm a man. So it's nice. I'm at the level with everybody else. So, yeah.
Before I do pass over, I just want to say that standing arm triangle was absolutely amazing. It's very rare you see that technique used that way. I mean, obviously we've seen it on the ground a lot, the arm triangle, but to get it standing it was so impressive. That was actually a really good fight as well. Up to you slapped on that triangle. It was, but yeah, that was, props on that standing triangle. That was standing arm triangle. That was brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you ready to jump in, Patrick?
Yeah, sure am, Ray. And thanks again for coming on, Matt. We really appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah, man. So since we're on the subject of the Chris Clemens fight, I just got to bring it up. I just want to say I don't think there's one person in the world that believes that marijuana is a performance-enhancing drug. Do you think it will ever be taken off the banned substances list?
I think eventually it possibly could, but I think it's going to take a long time. It's going to take, it's going to take a while. Just like anything else, anything that's worth it takes a long time to get done. So it's going to take a while, but I guarantee you, I don't think people are going to be able to be smoking marijuana or using marijuana up until the fight, like the day of the fight. But I think, I think the tests should just be changed. I think they should test you for THC. They shouldn't test you for metabolites. And I think that would be fair, because what they're testing you for is metabolites which stay in your system, 3 weeks after or maybe even a month or so after you're done using marijuana. And, and then there's other guys like Vitor and Chael Sonnen and, that just use testosterone replacement therapy. And people argue, well, a doctor gives them the shot. Well, I don't care. A doctor gives me my medical marijuana card. And then, granted, I have to go get my own medicine. But same difference, a doctor prescribed it to me. So how is it right for you to say steroids are okay for this guy because the doctor said it was okay? But my doctor said it's okay for me to smoke weed because that's my medicine, but it's not okay because you don't approve.
Yeah,
so
it really is ridiculous.
Really,
I mean, I think one of the only things people say is that, if you're under the influence of marijuana, it lessens your pain tolerance, which is kind of BS anyways. But like you had mentioned, they're testing for metabolites, which isn't the active, intoxicating substance. It's just something that says, okay, it's been in your system, not that you're currently under the influence of it during your fight. So yeah, that's ridiculous. It's definitely unfortunate that sweet.
And my personal stance on the whole opinion is the fighter safety. We're already in the cage fighting. It's already dangerous enough. So I understand they don't want you abusing drugs and going into the cage. Completely understandable. Absolutely. But when you're allowing one animal to take testosterone to get stronger, faster, better, and then this guy like me, I just, I have a hard time sleeping at night. I have a hard time eating, like something, I just have a hard time doing a couple things, and marijuana is my miracle drug. It literally takes care of everything for me. When I smoke, it's funny. I don't get sick. I don't feel anything. I feel great. I feel normal. When I'm not high, it sucks to say. It's like, I'm on edge. I want to fight all the time. I'm like, I drive 100 miles per hour. It's like, I'm a fast person, I'm edgy. Just like now, but it is what it is. So, until they change it or they start to respect it or understand it, it's going to be like this.
Yeah, sadly, I think you're right. Moving forward a little bit, though, you also put on another real good show against John McGuire. That was a fairly one-sided fight. Like you and Ray said, talked about, it really does seem that you're hitting your stride. What was that fight like for you?
I took it on short notice, and I was supposed to be fighting Besson Yusuf, and I was pretty excited because, he's basically like a Chris Clemens, a decent striker, not really a good ground game, and I like those fights because I got a great ground game, I got great wrestling, and my striking isn't the greatest, but I hit hard and I got a chin. So I can get whacked a couple times and not drop, and I can throw hard so people have to respect it, Definitely. But, then John McGuire replaced him. The second I signed that contract, that's when Yusuf pulled out, and then John McGuire took it. And I was pleased. John McGuire wanted to fight me. I've always wanted to fight John McGuire because he's like UK's premier grappler. So I thought it'd be fun. And it was. I wish we had more time to train because I think it would have been a lot more exciting. But, we both took it on 3 weeks. We did what we could, and I had a successful fight. I hit him with like a spinning mule kick when he went to take me down, and I had my moments during the fight, but I'm an exciting guy. I like to fight, especially when I work out and millions of people are watching. I'm not trying to just stand in front of somebody. I want to brawl, I want blood, because that's what people want.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I think that's definitely one of the more endearing qualities about yourself that has drawn the fans your way. Now, speaking about you kind of have you've got a pleasant disposition. You got the big smile. You're a personable guy, definitely likable. Do you think that throws off some of the other fighters? Like maybe it'll make some guys mad, or maybe some of the guys are just like, I don't want to hurt this guy.
Oh yeah, I think they want to hurt me. I think they want to hurt me even more because they want that smile off my face. But the thing is, it's funny, I smile a lot, but I started doing that back in the day when I wrestled because I had braces, and when people would cross-face me, if my mouth was shut, my lips would be shredded to pieces and I'd be bleeding everywhere. So I just started smiling all the time, so when they cross-face me, their hand would be bleeding, not my face. And it just carried on. So that's why, and now when I fight, when I smile, it kind of locks my jaw in place because I'm biting down when I smile. So it works out pretty perfect for me. It's like, they always tell you to bite down on your mouthpiece when you fight. And a lot of people, that's why they get knocked out. Their mouth's open, they're breathing out, and they get knocked out. And, and also the smile, it wasn't intentional, but I really think, it intimidates people because, we're about to fight in a cage. We're about to, hurt each other really bad or something. We're fighting in a cage. One man wins. There's never really draws or anything. And somebody's going to get hurt, And when the other guy's just laughing about what he's about to do, I think it's pretty intimidating, Because if somebody was smiling at me across the cage, it's like, that's right. No fear. This guy doesn't care that he's here. He's here to do his job and hurt me. That's awesome. I'm ready too. And that's how I think.
Hell yeah, and that's definitely a great outlook to have on the whole fight. Now, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Just want to ask, like it's been mentioned, you got this big fight coming up with Shane Mills, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. Is there anything in specific you're doing to train for him? Bringing in any new training partners or going to any different camps, anything like that?
I brought in some Muay Thai guys, some peer striking stand-up, guys that are professional Muay Thai fighters. And I've been sparring them, and the only thing is they don't like it when I take them down. So, that sucks for them. But, the thing I've been working, every fight's the same to me. We're both going to go in there. And honestly, even if I have game plans, I have a hard time following them because I like to fight. So, and even I work with James McSweeney. Even when I fought McGuire, I wanted to get into a brawl, and I could hear James just yelling, "Don't brawl with him, stick and move, just jab and circle, But I want to get into a fight, because there's nothing greater than hearing 15,000 people screaming because they're they just get excited, and it excites me, and I feed off that. And when I feed off that, it's I don't know, you probably have seen it in my fights, usually the second, third round is when I'm just getting warmed up. And and the crowd starts getting warmed up and everything just starts to come together and it's great. And that's what I love. That's why I do this.
Yeah, I can only imagine how much you get from something like that. And hey, I'm sure there's going to be another 15,000 fans screaming during your next fight coming up here soon. So before we let you go, thanks again for coming on, and we just like to give you a chance to shout out any sponsors, training partners, anything like that. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Facebook and Twitter.
Right. If you guys can follow me, just, type in, I think it's Riddle Tough 7 on Twitter, and just look up Matthew Riddle on Facebook. You'll find me. But I want to thank my sponsors, Retail Design Group up in Canada, Sammy's World's Famous Pizza up in Canada. The Canadians love me and they take care of me. I can't hate. I love Canada and they love me. So, and Rev Gear, Las Vegas Fight Shop, Big Fight Management, they've all helped me out, and it just makes my life easier. And also Mike the Rooster, that's another sponsor. And I want to thank James McSweeney, Robert Drysdale, Kyle Griffin. There's a laundry list of people I train with. I could go on all day, but I just want to thank all you guys because you helped me make me who I am today. So
Thank you very much for your time today,
Thank you.
Matt. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
thanks for having me, guys, and no worries, man. Anytime.
Good luck in London.
Thank you very much. I'll do my best.
Speak to you soon, mate. Bye.
Bye bye.